Hi, so this is the second part of the post generator for our influencer AI or AI influencer, and today we are gonna see dependency injection and logging. So dependency injection, this is important because it allows us to have like a cleaner architecture and a cleaner design, a cleaner implementation. And today we are not gonna go deeply on dependency injection. That's maybe something that is like deserves their own topic, and so probably it's gonna be better to try to refactor something that doesn't have dependency injection later. But for now we are gonna see how to implement it like from the beginning. So this is our command line project, and if you have not seen previous videos or you already know dependency injection, just wait for the next video. So we are gonna work in the semantic kernel part, in the AI, or if you don't know how to set up like a command line utility and .NET from the beginning, so watch the previous video. Dependency injection, it's just like a fancy way to say that you have a repository for objects. So, and these repositories, like where these instances are gonna be stored, this will be used across your whole application. So in long running systems, like or systems that runs all the time, like a web API, there is a clear advantage for that. So for example, like you have a connection to the database and you always reuse the same object, and that means that you are not going to use a lot of memory, or you are going to reuse like a pooling mechanism to connect to the database. But in things like a command line utility, it is not that clear the advantage of that for memory storage. And there are many ways to like store instantiate objects. The two extremes is like you can create one each time that you get from the service provider, and the other extreme is a singleton. Again, we are not gonna go deeply in what is a singleton or not, but the singleton is like exactly the same object that you are gonna retrieve. So we are gonna create a new method for configuring all these services, and this method will be here in the program. So let's just create it. We are gonna call this configure services because all our objects are services. So this will receive like a service collection of services, and of course we can receive also our arguments from the main. We are gonna call this method, so like it doesn't matter the signature, we can define whatever we want. Now this method, let's see how to instantiate service collection. So for that we need to like use dependency injection, and that's the first things that you want to do is like using dependency injection and then create the service collection, right? So a service collection, again, the repository of our objects, and then we are gonna call the method service collection with the arguments that comes from the static bot main. And then we can say that we have a service provider in this case, and this service provider is the one that will return all our objects, and we are gonna use this across the whole application. Now let's go to configure services, and there is one service that I want to do is like add logging. So you can see here that we have add logging, and there is like a simple way to do it. It's like add console, but also there is like a add simple console, and this you can specify the options. So the login is like how are you gonna show. So the login is how we are gonna show like all those messages like console write line into the terminal. I don't need all of these, but well, it seems like it's okay. And then this little one, like this snippet, is something that my friend Renato did it on one of our projects. It's a workaround. He's capturing like this debug from the arguments on the console to specify another level. So like this will allow us to show messages that are more verbose wherever we pass this variable to this parameter to the command line application, right? So now we need to add that option, and for that we are gonna add that here. So we are gonna add a debug option, and it is gonna be debug, right? And then this is gonna be like a root global option. So we are gonna add this to the root command, the root command doesn't get initialized until here, so we are gonna add it here. And this means that this debug can pass to the whole all the commands and all the handlers. So we could like just set the minimum level here, but then if we have other services like connection to a database or something where we also want to debug that, we are not gonna be able to do it because this gets parsed until you get to the handler, right? Or if we want to add logging here, that is debugging, we are not gonna have it because it's up to here. So that's the workaround that Renato did. Like it is just like a global, so it can be understood by system command line, but at the same time you are short-circuiting that and getting here, and you want to execute the logging first to set the minimum level so we can use that debug option, right? So finally we are going to replace our console write line, and for this we are going to need the logger. So there are different ways to do it, but here the most simple one is like I will just go to my service provider and I will say that I want this required service, which is logger, right? A logger can have specific context. So for in this case it's like for this program, for this command line, or you can just have something like this, and then you can have something, right, like at the bottom. So you can say command requested for persona, topic, and option. So this is not gonna show until you actually execute the debug one. So let's just test this one. So I will just do a .NET run first. Okay, we have an error. So line 47, let's see, what is 47? iLogger cannot be found. Oh yeah, we forgot to just use the logger, right? So extensions logging, and I think you can also have like console. Yeah, so console will give us this, the add simple console. Nice. So now we can see that we have here the debug one, so we can just do that. Of course here it's not gonna do anything because we are not getting any command, so we don't have any logging. But if we do like create post and then we pass the parameters, I don't remember the parameters, so let's see. So let's pass something like persona, dog, topic, swimming, and style, fun. Still is not gonna show anything because this command only will show whenever we have the debug activated, and by default the simple console doesn't add any, like it's not that level, it's not the debug level. This is only like the exception that we have. But if we add the debug variable, oh, I think this is an issue because I think we need to add like a global option. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear, but I have my dog here and it's barking. Alright, yes, I think I have you cannot access the logger directly. I think you need to access this through a factory. So I just click pause and then went to check previous implementations. Sorry, I don't have anything on my mind, but this is how coding it is. So you have a logger factory and then you access the logger factory to get the logger, right? So yeah, so logger factory, and then you create a logger for the context. So again, the context will allow us to show in what part of the program we are executing the log. So if you execute, or if you try to log something inside a method, it will probably have that context of that method. So you can see here, this is the context, right? So this is how we are gonna have the log. We have the level, which is the bug, we have the timestamp, we have the context, and then we have just the message that we are putting there. There is a warning, no reference for parameter factory on 51. Yeah, so in this case, like if the service doesn't exist, the logger factory, this will throw an issue. There are two ways to do it. One is like you just make sure that this is not null, and the other one is say this is a required service. So there is no, if there is no service that is registered in our service provider, it will just throw an issue. We don't want any warnings, so we want always to have 0 warnings, so no warnings, everything good. So we have started with dependency injection. This is our first service. It's just a simple console. Some people, whenever this gets too complex, they just move this to another class. That's fine. They do this sugar syntax that it looks cooler, but for now I think that's fine. We have built our login, and then we have changed our first log for this method. So that's it for today. Thank you, and just if you have any idea or comment, just let me know in the comments of the video. Thank you.